It is my pleasure to introduce to you distinguished sculptor Basil Watson. His incredible talent has gained international recognition and the attention of art enthusiasts around the world. His pieces include the MLK statue in Atlanta and the Windrush Monument in London. Most recently, Mr. Watson was commissioned to create the Usain Bolt statue, which will be unveiled at the Miramar Ansin Sports Complex on Saturday, July 15th. His ability to bring these iconic figures to life has earned him international acclaim. We celebrate Mr. Watson's remarkable contributions to the world of art and his extraordinary ability to immortalize iconic figures through his sculptures. He was awarded Jamaica's Order of Distinction, Commander Class, in 2016. Mr. Watson, we appreciate you joining us today.
Thanks for having me here. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you.
What were your early aspirations to become a sculptor? Your father, Barrington Watson, was a famous painter. Would you say you followed in his artistic footsteps?
I was definitely influenced by him. And I, at high school, gained a great love for drawing. So I decided that I would pursue art from high school, and actually thought I would become a painter. But once going to art school and experiencing sculpture, I fell in love with it and have been sculpting ever since.
Now, how long have you been sculpting, actually?
It is going about 25 years. No, not 25. 45 years.
Yeah, 45.
I graduated from the Jamaica School of Art in 1980. And so I was sculpting through school, and since leaving school, I have pursued it as my career.
Okay. Now, what was your most challenging piece, would you say?
Each one has its own challenge, and the process of sculpture is facing challenges on a daily basis, resolving the issues, sometimes finding answers, sometimes not finding answers, and it goes on and on. So it's all challenging, but it teaches you to take things in stride and move one step at a time.
Now, for our viewers, can you name a few of the many sculptures you've already created?
When I started, I said if I were able to get one sculpture in the public domain, I would be very happy. So I now have probably over 40 sculptures in the public domain. So I'm very, very happy to do that. Most recently, I have done the Usain Bolt in Jamaica. Prior to that, I had done Merlin Arty, Herb McKinley, who were previous athletic giants of Jamaica. After Bolt, I did Shelley and Fraser Price, the Pocket Rocket, the greatest female sprinter of all times. I've done Asafa Powell, who was once a world record holder, Veronica Campbell, another Olympic gold medalist and champion. I have one of my favorites is Miss Lou, Louise Bennett Cloverly, Jamaican poet, playwright. I've done busts of the national heroes of Jamaica. On the international stage, I have Heaven and Earth in China. I have Taproot in Guatemala. I have the Martin Luther King in Atlanta, commissioned by the city of Atlanta. And most recently, the Windrush Monument in London, England.
Yes, well, you were chosen from a number of candidates to create the National Windrush Monument, which was unveiled in London in 2022, which depicts the immigration of British West Indians. So what was your inspiration for the design of that bronze sculpture?
I decided I wanted to tell the early story of them arriving. And I remember my mother, who was part of the Windrush generation, my parents, having a suitcase under her bed, similar to the ones that I became part of the design. I also remembered the radio program Dulcimina Comes to Town, I think is the name, where she had this quirky suitcase out of which came every solution for every problem. And so it came to me that the suitcases would be a good iconic image for travel, for carrying one's belongings or one's treasures as we move through the world. So the suitcase became central to the design, and then the family on top of the suitcase in terms of it being a foundation as well as a ladder on which they climbed once in Britain.
I love the design. I like that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, okay. So now this weekend on Saturday, July 15th, will be the highly anticipated unveiling of the Usain Bolt statue. Can you provide us with some insight into the creation of this iconic sculpture? And tell us, how long did it take you to complete it?
Well, from conception to completion, we are looking at going 2 years, maybe a year and a half. It started in 2020, the discussions, no, 21, in 2021. I started designing in late 2021. Once that was agreed upon, I was mobilized in early 22 and completed the sculpture itself, I think in January of this year. And then we have been working on the plaza area at the Ansin Sports Complex that will house the sculpture. So we are going now 2 years. It depicts Bolt in his iconic to the world gesture. But having done Bolt before with that gesture, I wanted to make changes. And here he is kneeling on one knee as he does the to the world gesture.
Okay, it's a little different from the one at the National Stadium then.
Yes, it is.
Jamaica, yeah. Now, I have a question for you. We're wondering, what is your next project? And,
well, I am currently working on a number of projects. I am doing John Lewis for the city of Decatur.
hey,
The obelisk was taken down from the city hall compound, and in its place they are putting the John Lewis monument. I am working on the 3 first African American students to be admitted to the University of South Carolina in 1963. And they are commemorating, this is the integration of the university in modern times after Jim Crow. And so it's a 3-figure composition depicting these students. Also working on pieces for the Legacy Museum in Montgomery, Alabama. Sculpture Rosa Parks, John Lewis again, and Martin Luther King again. I am a finalist for the Harriet Tubman Monument in Philadelphia. So within the next few months, I compete with 4 other outstanding sculptors for the opportunity to do that. Yeah.
great. You have a number of things. You have a lot of work ahead of you. Is there anything else you'd like to add and tell us?
Just that I'm excited at the opportunity to have my first sculpture monument in Florida. Hopefully it's the first of more to come, but also excited to depict Usain Bolt. I consider him to be, an iconic personality, a symbol of excellence, and also that he is Jamaican.
Yeah.
He is the same nationality as me, but I recognize that he's an international citizen, and his influence goes beyond the boundaries of Jamaica, and he's recognized worldwide. So it excites me to be part of this project and getting the chance to depict him again. So I look forward to the weekend's proceedings. I enjoy what I do, and so as they say, if you enjoy what you do, you don't work for.
Yeah.
I consider it a labor of love.
Great. I commend you. Well, that's it for us, Mr. Basil Watson. Thank you for this interview. It was indeed
Thank
an
you.
absolute honor to have you sit and chat with us for these few minutes.